Shout out to John King for providing some material for this video I'm about to cover. In BVS, we see different aspects of the Trinity from actually the Golden Age and vintage comics. If you look here, in BVS, this was actually covered, a hero on public trial, which was Superman. And then we saw that Wonder Woman, she walked away from mankind, or gave up on mankind, which was also covered in a vintage comic. And then we saw Batman trying to prove that Superman was guilty in a hero taken to the edge in need of redemption, which would be Batman. And in BVS, we saw that as well. So shout out to John King on providing this material. You can freeze this video to look at the details of what he has provided there in that photo. Now we're going to let Zack Snyder speak a little bit more about more depth into a superhero movie.
In a way, Dawn of Justice is about just two people trying to understand each other in an extreme way. But I also see, how the movie somehow reflects real-world events, the war on terror, the consequences of unchecked power, collateral damage. Is that something you want to do when you set out the movie in the first place?
100%. I felt like sort of unilateralism and sort of like that idea, it was really a thing that we wanted to express through these characters, and also just, like I was saying earlier, like revenge versus justice, and just all these sort of complex concepts. I think that just speaks to the iconographic power of the characters, that they can embody these things pretty effortlessly without having to, you to push like artificial importance onto the characters. It's, you can imagine that sometimes, you would think, oh, they're just superheroes, so it's just fun, right? Yeah. But I think that Batman and Superman, they're bigger than, the sort of concept of superheroes anyway, so it's fun. And frankly, it allows the movie to be maybe more than people expect.
Can you talk about this Batman and Bruce Wayne? How is what's Bruce Wayne's motivation now? He's living in a world where there's godlike people.
Yeah, I think that's it. There's that great speech. I think it was in one of the trailers where he says to Alfred, like, even if there's just even a 1% chance that he's our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute strike. I think that shows that, like, because I think Batman feels like he's the only one that's like that's saying, like, guys, really, like, we're gonna like just rely on his kindness. We're gonna rely on the fact that everyone says he's nice. So, like, what if one day he just decided that we weren't nice? Then what? And we have no way to stop him. And I think that's an interesting, sort of philosophical concept, And I think that on the other hand, you have Superman, who's like, listen, we have laws. We have there's a reason that we have a system that works. Batman, you can't just like go and beat a criminal up and take him to jail without judge, jury, and executioner. That's not cool. We don't. That's not how society works. So you have this really great sort of clash of, which by the way, we take for granted in like the Batman movie. We don't even think about the fact that like Batman just like beat that guy up and put him in jail. We just think, oh, that's right, because that guy was bad. But like, look, what about due process and all that? So it's fun that we, as a society, enjoy the sort of construct of these superheroes. But it's also fun to hold a mirror up to that exact our acceptance of that concept and shine a light on it, and then allow it to then work itself out and become. Now we realize sort of the full philosophical importance of the two characters.
What I really appreciated about Zack Snyder is making us reflect on these comic book characters. Take, for instance, Batman. Batman is a criminal. I mean, first of all, you're not supposed to just beat up citizens. I don't care if they're criminals or not. The police has a specific way of apprehending criminals. Batman brutalizes criminals. He does what is called assault and battery, which is illegal. He intimidates, he scares criminals, and even kills criminals, okay? Think about it. Batman will sneak into a place and steal things, okay? That's called grand theft larceny. You know what I'm saying? Batman is a vigilante. He works outside of the laws of the land, which makes him a criminal. So when Bruce Wayne said in Batman v Superman, we're criminals, Alfred, we've always been criminals, he's right. Zorro was a criminal as well. So I think these are things that people don't really consider. And in a way, Superman makes Batman accountable. And Batman makes Superman accountable in BVS, and that's what I love about Zack Snyder. You know, Superman, he has all this power, but you can't, as a superhero, operate unilaterally. Now, again, the comic books have addressed these issues and have spoken about them, and have spoken about how people view superheroes. In the comic book world, they have already talked about it. In fact, the same comic book ideas is what Zack Snyder brought to BVS. The fact that you know, the world doesn't see these superheroes as gods, but they actually see them not as saviors, but actually as pests, as false gods. And literally, it's said in the comic books that actual lingo, false gods, is used. So I just wanted to leave those comments there. Shout out to John King for this. Awesome stuff, man. And shout out to you all. Leave your comments in the comment section below. You guys have a great one.